The Lonely Prince, a modern royal tragedy. Grab your tea, settle in, and brace yourself for a story that feels like watching a Greek tragedy unfold in real time. The rain-soaked return. They say London's rain has a memory. It remembers coronations and jubilees, weddings and funerals. And perhaps that's why it always seems to pour hardest when Prince Harry comes home, as if the city itself is weeping for the boy who once embodied everything we loved about the modern monarchy. This time was supposed to be different. No Netflix cameras lurking in the shadows, no carefully orchestrated PR moments, no Meghan, just Harry, the prodigal son slipping back onto British soil with what insiders describe as desperate hope flickering in his eyes. What he got instead was something far more devastating than anger or protests. He got silence, Ike. The moment everything changed. Picture this, St. Paul's Cathedral, that magnificent fortress of British history, its steps usually crowded with royal watchers clutching Union Jacks and camera phones. On any other day, for any other royal, there would be excitement crackling through the air like electricity. But when Harry's black SUV pulled up, nothing. A handful of confused tourists glanced up from their guidebooks, squinted, whispered, "Is that him?" before immediately losing interest. The royal photographers, those battle-hardened veterans who once fought tooth and nail for the perfect Harry shot, looked almost bored. As if capturing this particular prince no longer guaranteed a front-page splash, the cameras caught it all. That flicker across Harry's face when he realized the crowd wasn't coming. The way he adjusted his coat twice, 3 times, like a nervous actor who'd forgotten his lines. That ghostly smile that never quite reached his eyes. This was the people's prince, the cheeky soldier, the nation's favorite rebel, the man who could light up a room with nothing but that mischievous Diana-inherited grin. The royal who felt more accessible, more real than the rest of them combined. And now, a stranger wandering through his own history. Inside the cathedral, a family that wasn't. If the outside was brutal, the inside was absolutely devastating. The seating arrangement alone told a story that 1,000 words couldn't capture. Prince William sat front and center, the future king in his rightful place. Queen Camilla, regal and composed. Princess Anne, stoic as ever. The working royals formed a united front. And Harry? Exiled to the far left row, miles away from the family circle. An afterthought in an asterisk seating chart. Then came the moment that will haunt royal historians for decades. When King Charles entered and the entire congregation rose as one. Everyone except Harry. Not out of defiance, but out of something far more heartbreaking. Confusion. He didn't know what to do anymore. Should he bow? Should he smile? Was he still allowed to follow royal protocol, or had he forfeited that right the day he chose California over crown? The split-second hesitation before he scrambled to his feet was captured in excruciating high definition. Another clip for the endless news cycle. Another reminder that the boy who was born into this world no longer knows how to navigate it. The meeting that never was behind the scenes, royal insiders reveal what Harry had really come for. A private audience with his father. Just 15 minutes, a chance to talk without lawyers, without handlers, without the weight of public opinion crushing every word. He got his meeting, technically, but according to sources it was perfunctory, brief, the kind of encounter you'd have with a distant business acquaintance, not your own flesh and blood. There was no warmth, no breakthrough, no olive branch extended across the chasm that Spare had blown wide open. King Charles, we're told, no longer trusts his younger son with private conversations. Not after the memoir, not after Oprah, not after every intimate family moment found its way onto Netflix or into American tabloids. Everything Harry says ends up as a headline, one aide reportedly explained. His Majesty treats him like a security risk now. Imagine that. A father forced to view his own son as a potential leak. A king who can't speak freely to his child because he might be recorded, dissected, monetized. The exit through the side door. After the service, while the working royals exited together in a carefully orchestrated display of unity, William and Catherine, Camilla and Anne, a family standing strong, Harry slipped out through a side entrance. No royal convoy waiting, no aides to guide him, just a single bodyguard, a black umbrella, and that relentless London rain drumming down on a man who once commanded crowds in the thousands. Witnesses say he sat alone in his vehicle for several minutes afterward, staring through rain-streaked windows at the growing crowd surrounding William's motorcade. The contrast couldn't have been more cinematic, more cruel. One brother cheered and celebrated, the other utterly forgotten. The symbolism was so perfect it almost felt scripted. But this wasn't a Netflix production. This was real life, playing out with brutal honesty. The woman in Montecito. Back in California, Megan was reportedly furious. Not because she felt her husband's pain, but because in her eyes, he'd walked straight into a PR disaster. "They'll isolate you. They'll humiliate you," she'd allegedly warned him before he left, and when that's exactly what happened, her response wasn't comfort. It was strategy. Sources claim she flooded his phone with messages demanding updates. Who ignored you? Who looked away? Who needs to be held accountable? But when she realized that nobody, not Charles, not William, not anyone who mattered, had bothered to give him more than the bare minimum, her fury apparently shifted to Harry himself. "You walked right into their trap," she allegedly snapped. "You let them make you look pathetic." But here's the thing. This wasn't a trap. This was reality breaking through years of carefully constructed narrative. That image of Harry alone in the rain wasn't palace propaganda. It was the truth, naked and undeniable. The bridge that can't be rebuilt. Perhaps the most painful rejection came from William. Harry had apparently hoped, prayed, for even a brief word with his brother, the wingman who once stood by his side through everything. William's camp declined. Flatly. "Now isn't the time," they said. Translation: "It will never be the time." Those close to the Prince of Wales say he's completely done. Every conversation has been twisted, leaked, exploited. He can't risk another betrayal from someone who sees family moments as content opportunities. So at St. Paul's, William didn't even glance in Harry's direction. The coldness wasn't performative, it was protective. A wall built from years of broken trust. The visit to Althorpe. The most heartbreaking moment came later that evening. Paparazzi caught Harry leaving his hotel, cap pulled low, driving alone to Althorpe, to his mother's resting place. A witness described him standing by the lake where Diana is buried for nearly an hour, no entourage, no cameras, no Megan, just a grown man staring at water, perhaps asking questions no one alive can answer. "What would you think of me now, Mum? Did I get it all wrong?" Because no matter how loudly he insists he's happy in California, deep down he's still that 12-year-old boy walking behind his mother's coffin, trying desperately to belong somewhere, anywhere. The final thread snaps. As Harry boarded his flight back to Los Angeles, eyes red, face pale, no farewell from family, one thing became painfully, devastatingly clear. This wasn't a visit. This was an ending. The final thread connecting Prince Harry to the home he abandoned has quietly, irrevocably snapped. The country that once adored him has moved on. The family that once protected him now treats him like a stranger. The identity he sacrificed everything for has evaporated like morning fog over the Thames. He wanted freedom. He got isolation. He wanted truth. He got indifference. He wanted to be seen. Instead, he became invisible. And perhaps that's the cruelest punishment of all, not hatred, but irrelevance. Because in a world that once revolved around him, Prince Harry has discovered something more devastating than being the villain. He's become nobody. The verdict. The Telegraph's photo said it all. A diminished figure in a doorway, umbrella sagging under rain that seemed to fall only on him. The boy who lost his mother too soon has now lost everything else. His country, his family, his purpose, his place. Some bridges once burned can never be rebuilt. Some choices, once made, can never be unmade. Some silences speak louder than any crowd ever could. And as the rain continues to fall on London, as it always does when Harry comes home, we're left watching a tragedy unfold in real time. A modern prince who had the world at his feet, only to discover too late that he'd been standing on quicksand all along. The question now isn't whether Harry can come home. It's whether there's any home left to come back to. What do you think? Is this truly the end of the road for the prodigal prince? Share your thoughts below. I read every single comment. Until next time, hold your families close and remember, some stories don't get happy endings, no matter how much we wish they would.